All right, good morning, everybody. Happy Friday. All right. Jessica Davis. I'm a fitness and sports instructor here at CFB Gagetown in Fredericton, New Brunswick. And I am coming to you live this morning for a power hour. All right. So in response to COVID-19, PSP is offering telefitness to Canadian Armed Force members by using social media. Qualified active questionnaire of the Canadian Society of Exercise Physiology and its reference document, simply by clicking on the links below. So in the comments there'll be a link posted for you to just check through, make sure you're good to go for this class. If it's not there, then you can look back on Facebook to any of our previously live videos, and the link will be posted with them. You understand that there's possibility of physical injury and you agree to do so voluntarily and at your own risk. You also assume all risk of injury and agree to release the Canadian Forces Morale and Welfare Services from any and all claims related to your participation in this telefitness class. Okay. Perfect. So we will get started with just a warm-up and some movement preparation exercises, and then we'll get into the actual circuit of the power hour. So it's going to be it'll be full body for the most part. I've got some different exercises thrown in. All you're going to need is, well, I'm going to use a mat. You really don't need one per se. It's just kind of a little bit of cushioning underneath is what I like. We're just going to do warm up, then we'll get into some movement preparation exercises, and then jump into the circuit. So we'll start at the head, just our so left ear towards the left shoulder, roll your chin to your chest front, and end up right ear to chin. And back to the right. Just keep nice and slowly swaying your head back and forth. Getting that full range of motion from side to side. Right. Good. Bring your head back up to center. We're going to start with some small arm circles to start, and then make them a little bit bigger, a little bit bigger, and then start to really exaggerate them, opening the chest, rounding through the shoulders. Good, and then we're going to go opposite direction. So starting small again. Making them a little bit bigger. And then really exaggerating, opening the chest, rounding, pulling apart the shoulders. Good, shake that out. And now bring the arms just straight up and down. And open them out and across. As you cross your arms and making sure that you switch which arm is on top each time. Good. Shake your arms out. Plant your feet about a hip width apart or a little bit bigger if it's more comfortable. And we're just going to do some very turning, and you're just creating a little bit more movement through your spine. You can just let your arms flow. Nice and gentle, no big, huge twists here. Good, come back to center, plant your feet. You're gonna squat, stand up, and then hinge and stand up. So from the side, we're squatting. Neutral, flat back. Squat, hinge, keep going with this. Leg, come back up to center, lunge into the left, back up to center. So not staying in the left. To get things warmed up. And one more to each side. Good. Heel toe your feet back up together. And one more, we're going to do a chair squat. So your toes are going to be touching your heels just slightly apart. And we're going to sink our hips back like we're sitting in a chair and bring our arms forward as a counterbalance. Sink the hips right back. Nice and tall as you reach your arms forward. Deep as your body will allow you while still keeping your chest up. Couple more. Good. Come back up to standing. And the last there's my kitty coming through the bottom of the screen. And switch directions on this ankle. You can hold onto a chair or the wall, whatever you need to for balance. Let's go to the other foot. Switch directions. Perfect. Good stuff. Okay, so now for each exercise, Power Hour circuit, we're just going to do a movement preparation exercise for it. So it will be a similar movement to what we're doing. We'll do this preparation. So our first exercise will look like this. So you're going to be in high and knees are hovering, and then you'll spring forward into a squat and stand up. Going back down, jump back, and it'll be that motion back and forth. So to warm up for that, first we can stand or kneel for this, but we're just going to warm up our wrist. Have everything working properly and no injuries to wrists when we're going to be putting pressure into them for a couple different exercises. So let's roll our wrists first. Roll, roll, roll. Switch direction. Back the other way again. And one more time, switching direction. Perfect. We'll do some more wrist warm-ups with the other exercises as well. So let's just move through this nice and slowly. So come into high plank. You're going to have your toes together. And as you sink your hips back and push through your hands, you may have to bring your toes closer to you a little bit from high plank. Your knees are going to start bending, flare out. So to look at what I'm doing from the front, my hands are, my toes are together behind me, and as I sink back, I open up my knees to the side and sink, and then springing forward. Movement, you don't have to sink all the way down back onto your feet, but just following movement pattern. So we're going to come forward and go back for now. Okay, just this round for movement preparation. Fold back, spring forward. Hold. Couple more. Good, and come back to standing. Our next exercise, a reverse lunge. I'm going to bring the back leg up with you to opposite elbow and set it down. Okay, so cross. Come into our lunge and do a couple pulses. So let's straight on this side, step forward, other side. Okay, keep going. 2, 3, come forward. 1, 2, 3, keep going. Good, come back up to standing. Third exercise will be an A-frame push-up. So if you're familiar with yoga, it'll look like you're coming into downward facing dog. You can keep as much bend in your knees as you need to. But you're going to bend through the elbows to drop your head Since we're putting our wrist this time, we're going to flick our fingers like we're flicking water off of them. So from a fist, flick open, and just continuously doing this. Keep going. Start to feel the heat build in your forearms. Or 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, bring shape. Take a breath here, and then walk your hands back to your feet. Walk your feet in shape. The last one. Okay. Is a single leg bridge. So regular bridge lying on your back, both feet are on the ground. You can support with your hands. You lift your hips and set them back down on the ground. So for this exercise, we'll be doing one-legged. So one foot will come up in the air. Walk your other foot that's on the floor a little bit closer. If you need to, you will and set them back down. Okay, so to warm up for this, we're just going to do 2 feet on the floor. And arms can at each side. So lift them back down to hover. So I can still put my hands underneath my hips. I'm not going to actually set. Lift and lower. Now when you're doing this, check in with your knees and make sure that they're not coming out really wide, that they're staying in as you lift and lower your hips. A few more. And 3, 2, 1. Good. Set your hips back down. And then to standing. So lateral lunge, this exercise will look like this. So standing tall. And then when you come back up, find your balance. And we're going to crunch same elbow to same knee, like on the same side of the body. So arm up as you would lunge, find your balance, and crunch. Okay, that'll be the full exercise. So for this warm-up movement preparation, we're going to bring both legs out nice and straight, similar to how we did our dynamic warm-up. We're just going to flow back and forth, but this time we're going to keep hands up in the air, chest up nice and tall, and flow back and forth between these 2 lunges. Couple more on each side. One more. Good. Heel toe your feet back together. And our last exercise in the circuit is crab dips. So in this crab position, so fingers are facing towards your feet. And here we will dip in the elbows. If you can do it off of your couch, you can do it off of stairs. You can also just bring a couple blocks or books underneath of you as well. All right, so let's warm up with a few of those, just nice and slow. So lift your hips high and then dip them down towards the floor. So you're only putting a slight bend into your elbows for this one. Lift the hips. Wrist warm up. If you did elevate yourself there, you can just move whatever. And then close the fingers, thumbs stick out, open the finger, then thumbs close in. Really quickly, it'll be fingers down, thumbs out, open, thumbs in, fingers down. Really fast. See how coordinated you are? As fast as you can. Your forearms will really start to feel the heat and the fire in them as you do this. Mine sure are. As they get tired, you'll be a little less coordinated with this movement. And for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and shake that out, roll your wrists a little. Good, and we are all warmed up through our first round. So let's start to kick it up a notch for round 2 and 3. So same exercises I just showed you, but rather than that movement preparation, slower controlled phase that we just went through, we're going to go through the full range and power for the exercises. I'm going to go fairly quickly between exercises. So from one, we'll move right into the next. You can grab a sip of water if you need to. We'll take a minute or two break in between round 2 and 3. So you can have a breather at that point. Okay, so let's start round 2, nice and active. So for active child's pose to squat, remember we're coming into that high plank. Bring your toes towards your hands, bending your knees, toes together, and sink your hips back. Come forward. So from the front, child's pose, squat nice and wide, stand up, and send your toes back and continue. Okay? You can use as much power as you want to here. And back. Couple more. going to reverse lunge, standing crunch, opposite elbow to knee. Okay, let's step back to the right leg. So right foot steps back. Forward to stand and balance. Right knee to left elbow. Set that foot down. Left foot goes back. Stand up with balance. Left knee, left or right elbow. Set it down. Okay, continue here. And then time to crunch opposite knee to elbow at the top. A couple more on each side. Last one more each side. Good. Awesome. A-frame push-up. So you can either start from standing, walk your hands out like we did in the movement prep. So coming into your downward dog, you can bend your knees. And bending through the elbow, lower your head to the floor, pop back up. Keep going here. Elbows come out nice and wide. It's kind of funny too. Good. Come back up to standing. Down on our back. And we're doing these on one foot. So let's put the left foot up in the air. Right foot. Hands can support at each side. You want both your thighs to stay fairly aligned as you lift your hips. Okay, so let's go here. Lift the hips. Back down. Motion. Almost there. One more. Left foot comes in towards the hips to plant. Right foot extends up. Keep your thighs in line. Here we go. Lift the hips and let them hover. Lift your hips nice and high with each rise. Halfway. Last one. Awesome. Set your hips back down. Slowly, water if you need it. And then slowly make your way up to standing. So lateral lunge, standing up with balance, crunch, same knee to same elbow. All right, so let's start on the right side. We'll go all to the right. Standing, right leg is gonna lunge. Here we go, lunge, stand up with balance, crunch right to right. Try not to set your right foot down in this standing position. Crunch, and then lunge back up. See if you can take the balance challenge. Power yourself back up, crunch. The whole time. Two more. Foot is going to plant. Left foot is moving. Here we go. Lunge left. Come up and find balance. Crunch left to left. Keep going. Remember to keep breathing. Helps with your back. Almost there. Three more. Last one. Good stuff. And last but not least are our crab dips. So I'm going to stack myself up on these blocks to our height. So you edge of your couch for 15. So lift your hips. Here we go. Dip and push up. Again, just bringing your hips down to just barely touch. Almost there. In 3, 2, and 1. Good stuff. Set those off to the side again. Take a little breather. Grab some water. And we're going to go through one more really quick round of that, now that everyone knows what's going on. Just give you one more minute to have a little rest. And we'll do one more round. So the exercises. We've been doing everything for 15 each side. Okay, so active child's pose to squat. Bring yourself into that kind of plank position. Sink your hips back, and let's go for 15. Stand and back. Halfway. One more. Good. Awesome. Okay, reverse. Left foot is going to support first. Right foot lunges back. Crunches up opposite. Side. Step it back. Up. Crunch. Crunch. Left back. Crunch. Keep breathing. Keep your chest up, nice and tall. We are halfway. Almost there. Two more on each side. Standing tall. Dog shape. And for 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Awesome. Slowly bring yourself back up to standing. And coming into single leg bridge. So lying on your back, left foot comes up in the air, right foot planted behind the hips. Hands come down to support. Here we go, 15 each side. Lift and hover. halfway. Lift the hips nice and high. And 3, 2, 1. Good stuff. Up nice and slowly. So take your time on the way back up. 2 exercises left. Lateral lunge, standing crunch to challenge your back. Here we go. For 15, lunging to the right, crunch up. If you leave your right arm the whole time, you'll also feel it a little bit in your shoulder by the end of it. I think that was 10. 3, 2, last one. Awesome. Other side, left leg lunging out. Getting a little tired or sloppy, just take a breath, rest for a second, and then jump back in. I think that was 10. I'm losing track. 3, and 1. Woo! Last one. Crab tricep dips for 15. So find your step, or you can just use the floor. Lift your hips, and here we go for 15. Last 15 reps. And 3, 2, 1, and lower. Good job. Awesome. We'll do a quick cool down, and then you can go for your weekend. All right. So we'll start standing for our cool down. Just keep shifting side to side a little if you're breathing really heavy. Give your body a little bit of movement still. And let's start overhead, tricep extension here to stretch. You can keep the bit of sway if you're still Your heart rate, switching sides through your tricep stretch. Take that out. Let's go across our chest to stretch our shoulder. So left hand across the chest, and you are going to drop right ear to right shoulder so that your neck. Good, let that arm go. Other side, so right comes across, and you're going to tip that right side of your shoulder and neck, an extra little stretch. Good, let that go and shake it out. Place your hands behind your back and open up. There's another kitty visiting. Open up your chest. Try not to make too much of it through your back. So keeping your hips need to, but see how my back stays nice and straight and I'm still opening up my chest. Bring your hands around in front and then arch through. And you can bring nothing else, so your legs still staying the same. Bring your hands back behind you again and stretch your chest one more time. Let your shoulders relax down away from your ears. Move up into your collarbones a little. Let your hands go, shake that out. Awesome, let's come down to seated. Stretching the right leg out in front of you, tucking the left leg in the right thigh. We're going to hinge from the right toe. So try not to round and arch through your back. Stay up nice open with your chest and just hinge your chest towards that toe. Deep breaths now to cool down. Inhale to rise yourself up. And let's switch legs. So same thing here. We do not want to arch and round through our back. We're just going to hinge from our hips towards that left toe, keeping our chest nice and open and tall. Inhale to rise back up. Figure four. Right foot is just flat on the mat, a little ways out from my hip. Side, maybe of your left thigh. If you want more of a stretch, you can start walking your hips towards that right foot, little by go as through your left. Same thing for the right foot, flat Just until you feel enough of a stretch in the right glute and thigh. But again, and unwind that right leg. Let's come down on our side so you can stack yourself up on that leg. On the ground stays out, holding your foot in the right hand, and stretch your right quad. Nice big stretch. Let that top right foot go. And last thing, switch yourself over. Right leg is down on the bottom this time, stacking on your right elbow. Left leg bends back to catch in your left hand. One more deep breath. And we'll let that go with your top leg. Shake it out a little, come back up to seated. If you want to take a couple of minutes of relaxation, feel free to just sit. Rest and relaxation. Some nice deep breaths. Get yourself all relaxed for your weekend. Otherwise, I will see you guys on Monday afternoon at 2, I believe it is. I'll be teaching yoga on here, so feel free to check that out. Otherwise, everyone